Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to Wargame Red Dragon. Today we have a game as Baltic Front. I'm playing against a fellow Grim Reaper we played some months ago. It was a very close game then. Also casted up on the channel, by the way. It was a blue 4 match. I believe we were both playing as some mix of either Blue Dragons or certainly South Korea. So I have many fast mobile units headed up to secure the town in Dimitri, hopefully to secure Dimitri itself. A Salamandra and a Sokol pushing up to do a little bit of anti-infantry and also anti-helicopter work at the beginning. Salamander is very powerful, particularly in the early game, and these guys are going to be very slow, plus a very light presence, the T-55M Pion on the western side. So Salamander opens up, kills a couple troop carriers here in just a second. Yep, one and second shot on the way, along with some rocket pods, always a nice little touch there. And the Sokol is able to get a Bow 105CB that gets just a little too close here. Unfortunately, the F104G is going to be a nuisance. Well, not this F104G. Yeah, there it goes. But certainly one or the other is going to be a nuisance for quite a while, as my anti-air game is particularly lacking for the rest of this match. But we do get our infantry into the town. Salamander opening up on the Lux and the YP408. This is, I believe my opponent's playing Dutch-German coalition, so I think it makes sense. For the Martyrs, as well as the AH-64 Escort and some of the YP transports favored by the Dutch. So Yekri and this is always a fun one. Reskazin Koriyama taking the town in the center, and now Musties and a KT doing a little bit of good fire here, hoping to get rid of the rest of those transports, deny infantry from getting to Anna, and secure Anna, hold it as long as I can for the rest of the game if possible. Ito 90 as well, making quite an impact, taking down hopefully, taking down that escort as well. Down he goes, and kaboom. So at this point, I'm feeling reasonably confident. The Twardy wasn't all that useful here, BMPs and Musties really providing the bulk of the volume of fire there, but we've decently well pushed through in Dimitri and Anna, and now is the point in time where I should have kept going. If we take a look at neutral, there's nothing between me and Elena. I should have taken the Twardy, just shoved it right forward, scouting with the Salamandra if possible, and supported by the Musties and KTs. We'll talk about this guy over here in the east a little bit later. That was just a devilish move that I should have guarded against and did not. In the meantime, however, we are relatively struggling with the west, so my T-55 taking Milan fire from multiple directions, and I'm trying to reverse him out of there. Let's see if he can still get a couple of shots. Deckensgruppe taking hits, Martyrs being targeted as well. I think I switched target to the Flux, and we do take him down, so that was at least nice. T-55 should be moving forward here real soon. Mi-24W moving up as well and making short work of the Martyrs. So just another quick look at neutral, and at this point in time, we have a pretty dominant board position. Granted, we did lose. I think I lost my ASF to the Hawk Hios right there, but Leopard 2A4s, I saw these guys come in during the game, so that wasn't a surprise. I knew that there were big tanks in those woods, and I thought to myself, well, you know what, let's be a little bit cagey toward the center. I overestimated how much was left, and, well, because of it, I failed to capitalize on my success, which is something you should always do in this game. Well, not fail, but always capitalize on your successes. Your opponent is just as point-strapped as you are, oftentimes, at least in the early stages of the game, and so blowing through one of his offensive pushes in the early game really probably means there's not much left between you and victory. So Yekri are just headed up, they're just roadblocks the 2A4s, they're supposed to get me a little bit of spotting so I can punish the Salamandra and the Mi-24W, but I move up a little too aggressively here, and a Flak Panzer Gepard takes down not one, but both. So mistakes being made there on my part. I think we didn't even kill a single tank, as nothing's left in that burning pile of rubble. And my ISO 90 is a little bit too far behind to save the Musties. So I do move him up, and the escort probably sees that and is moving away. So we are on speed 2 as things kind of drag out just a little bit. I'm trying to secure Anna. Between Anna and center, we will go up to a +2, taking, I guess, war score. I don't know really what to call it. Points seems a little bit anticlimactic. And this guy here, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, but the command infantry there will be there for quite some time. So, good things going on in that regard. Parmelan shooting at my T-55, and this guy also makes himself very useful all game. Down goes the tank, and that's a very expensive 75-point loss. So, you can kind of see as time goes on, as there's a very nice organized response from Grim Reaper here, things start to get a little bit less well in hand, for me anyway. But getting that cheeky kill on an escort was a pretty good thing. KT, of course, is a 20 points. Oh, we didn't quite get him. There it is. There it is. Down he goes. And let's watch that nice spiral there. An AH escort, I believe, is 65 points, so that well and truly pays for itself multiple times over, so I'm quite happy with that. But Huzo Ren and my lack of defenses in the west is kind of making me a little bit nervous. Just like I said, if I had tried to push through here, it probably would have worked. If he had tried to push through center, there's not much I could have done, and yeah, so that's certainly worrisome. I'm very not happy about it, but I'm hoping just by seeing these Jaegeri here, he'll think, well, maybe there's something there that I can't get through. Meanwhile, Iroquois Jaegeri take down another scout helicopter, so we are burning through the supply of that relatively quickly, and these guys are moving forward. I really enjoy, well, they're supposed to be moving forward, I accidentally moved them backwards. I really enjoy working with Iroquois Jaegeri or anything like it, so SAS for South Africans, SASF, things like that. I believe LSTR is the East German version, but they're not really great frontline infantry to infantry. I mean, yeah, the automatic and other weapons like that are fine, but lacking a tertiary squad weapon will often mean they'll lose in the long knockdown drag-out fight. So, seaplane coming in, we do get a kill there, but unfortunately that Hios has been resupplied, and down goes my seaplane. Also, a KWS coming in. This is the German air superiority fighter, 140 points, not really the highest performance there, but I mean, there's a couple of them, and they certainly get the job done well enough when properly supported by something like a Hawk Hios. Notably, that Hawk Hios is in fact not radar operated either, so I can't even target it with a seaplane. It's really quite obnoxious, to be honest. So infantry have now finally gotten into Anna, and I'm just sort of scattering them all around, particularly in the back end where people like to try paratrooper pushes or things like that. Cheeky little, you don't see me, you don't see me, but I'm here, sorts of tactics, and this does begin to settle into a bit of a, well, detente, I guess would be the word for it. I do lose a couple of things. We spot another Bo 105 CB heading over that way, and to counter it, I believe here in just a second we should see the Salamandra and the Sokol, both from the beginning of the game, moving over, hoping to find and kill that. Meanwhile, Iroquois Jaegeri get a very nice side shot in at a Leopard 2A4. Very valuable kill there, and they are going to be moving backwards as here comes the retaliation. Tornado 1DS, bomber coming in, and let's see, does he get lucky? Let's see, and no. Right, so just a little bit short, the Iroquois Jaegeri moving just far enough away to escape punishment there, and heading up and around, which, well, we'll talk about that when we get there. Tornado coming in again. There's the last AA weapon from the Iroquois, and just barely another miss. Now, there is a bit of a skirmish here with some Jaeger, so these are, of course, the German 15-point regular infantry that used to be, well, quite overpowered at 10 points, but that nerf happened a very, very long time ago, I think a couple of years by this point. The Sokol and the scout helicopter, I believe, were able to find that helicopter there as well, and I've moved up in Musty and KTs because the Iroquois Jaegeri aren't going to be able to take on 3 units of Jaeger at the same time. Notably, again, the lack of squad weapon will mean that their elite training is unfortunately not enough to overcome, what, six different weapons shooting incoming fire, the primaries in each one of those 3, as well as the squad guns. Jaeger, of course, also do have very nice secondary anti-tank weapons, so we do get a little bit of punishment there, but Musties and KTs able to give back just a little bit. And let's speed things up again. BMP 1 KTs and Sokols guarding my western flank, and unfortunately, here comes an artillery barrage targeted at my control in Dimitri, which certainly, well, I thought it was successful. It certainly stuns, and I think he had recon on here somehow. If we take a look at neutral, yeah, Huza Ren are going to be spotting for him, and more than able to see the BMP out of cover from this far away, at least. Well, I think so. So let's switch to his perspective, and yep, it's well and truly visible, so that is a little bit unfortunate for me there. And if we look back at neutral, I've given him too long to recover, so his east to my west is pretty well defended at this point. There's infantry moving through the woods here, and it's getting a little bit less in hand, I would say. In addition, I am unfortunately not able to win the skirmish in the air. My MiG goes in, can't kill the F4F, and that would have been an excellent opportunity in my zone of control away from his AA, which notably wasn't well supported by my AA either. which is a common theme. Ito 90s are very powerful, but lack defense against airplanes, and I didn't really bring anything bigger and scarier than that. Iroquois are moving up and headed toward the back end of Elena. We'll check back in on them in just a minute here. And I gotta say, this match was, well, every single moment of it felt way more stressful during instead of after the fact. But that's how it is sometimes, and Block 15 OCU comes in. This is an ATGM plane, kills my Twardy. Now that Twardy was 155 points, and we can start to see the pendulum swinging. So that kill, I mean, that more than makes up for the Leopard 2A4 that my Iroquois took down earlier. Additionally, my Ito 90 is suffering a little bit, counterfire coming in from 1 to 3 separate artillery positions. And now if we take a look at neutral, Brunsbacher are near my home zone. And these guys carry an H&K PSG-1, 1 HE power, no AP, thankfully. It's a 2-man sniper team, and they are going to be spotting for my opponent here, so I think sometime around now I realize this guy isn't actually in the trees, which is a bit of a problem. Salamandra going up, trying to get rid of whatever it is that's spotting. So I knew something was. I didn't know that there was a runner there, but 2 ATGMs coming in, and the KTs are getting targeted certainly very well here, and they're not going to be able to make it up and to that Huzo run, which is unfortunate. They're right there. I didn't know it at the time, but there's one hit, and there should be another volley here as well. Those ATGM teams really paying for themselves over and over and over again. Bit of a bombing run, air raid type deal, and Grim Reaper definitely likes to keep his planes together. Probably support here for the infantry, so he's hoping to get kills on whatever I send to fight his men. Bombing run coming in, and let's see if the Yakari are up for it. That looks like a good hit, and one completely killed, the second down to 7 strength out of 10. So very much not a good thing there for me. I also then lose more Yakari and a BTR 50 in just stunningly accurate bombing runs on that side of the field. I'm not accusing or anything like that. I think it was just, I mean, the man plays a lot, and he's good at what he does. Iroquois Yakari, unfortunately, were all out of Igwas, unable to kill this AH-64 escort, which would have made it even more worthwhile for that trip, but rocket pods just demolishing them there. But fortunately, my Yakari are able to outfight these Jaegers. So Yakari are maybe not quite as good with anti-tank weapons, but they're certainly able to fight 2 versus 1. Oh, my apologies. Sorry about that. They certainly are able to fight 2 versus 1 against Jaeger. In the meantime, an Mi-17 coming in, supporting with rocket pods, and we return a little bit of the favor there for the demise of our Iroquois Yakari. And let's speed things up a little bit yet again. F4 KWS coming in, killing my Mi-17, which is just, it's the most overkill I've seen in quite a while. And we can kind of notice a trend. His planes are getting in and getting out. My ITOs aren't enough to kill them. More, well, these I guess are the IFVs following up, coming in as well. But Yakari are going to close, and that should be alright. Bombing run coming in. He's hunting for my command vehicle and not able to find it. However, now he has captured Dmitri, and this is a big problem. So we're almost halfway through, but I'm no longer getting to King War score, and, well, things have been battled roughly to a standstill at this point. At least that's my perspective, and this is a big, big spiky porcupine of pain and death. So Deccan Skurukwa making very good use of those. I should probably check them out myself just from how they performed in this game. Huza Ren, just an infantry CV technically in the zone. It's just very, very nice, very practiced play from my opponent here. And that certainly is only going to get worse for me as time goes on. Artillery coming in, and I am trying to return the favor here, but incoming fire and smack. So I think the Danos did get 1 or 2 kills on his artillery. There was only 1 left over there, but there were 3 to begin with. So I think we did get 2. Danos are very, very powerful artillery pieces, in part because of their pattern of fire, if not just for the values of it. Maybe we only killed 1 that looks like 2 pieces firing, 1 back behind Elena. And yes, so is that 2 positions? Huh. It's difficult to do this even after the game, let alone during it. More infantry reinforcements moving up in Musties. This is to replace the ones that got bombed to hell and back. I also have an additional Ito, hoping to make up for my lack of air defenses. In the meantime, however, I did lose 1 of the Danos. I moved the other a little bit to the side, and I started thinking to myself, you know, they haven't fired in a while. I thought I'd repositioned them. Maybe something is spotting here. So I move over BMP and a T-55, as well as a Salamandra, just looking for whatever that could be. MiG goes in, and I'm a little greedily chasing the tornado here. Here comes the Hios, one hit, stun, and we do get out, but that's heavily, heavily damaged, and very much not a good play. Frundsbacher still are spotting. They were, in fact, the ones that found the Dana, and I don't think I don't think I find them for quite a long time. So this block is also just hunting. So my Twardy is staying put. He will probably get spotted relatively soon, but I'm moving my BMP. There it is. There's the reposition into the woods, trying to keep away from whatever's spotting on the eastern side and from that really accurate artillery fire coming in from my opponent. There's actually that's the follow-up volley on that end. And now my Twardy was briefly spotted, took one ATGM to the face. Very much not what I had wanted. Tornado 1DS trying to come in and finish the job. Let's see if he can do it. Bombing run coming in there, and no, it looks like there's actually a different target, the Yekuri at the front end, and, well, mostly dead, for all intents and purposes. And I'm surprised the artillery didn't finish it off there. I thought that it had. Let's see, maybe it's not. Oh, that one looks well aimed. Oh, interesting. One lonely Yekuri left there, and we are able to get a little bit of revenge, taking down another scout helicopter with the Ito 90, so at least we're giving back a little bit, even if not in an ideal sort of ratio here. So at this point, I was sitting here just going, okay, well, there's 18 minutes left. I've been taking a lot of bad engagements. I bet I've lost whatever edge and points that I may have once had. I'm probably down a little bit, but in my own limited experience, sometimes it's a good idea to pretend strength where there is none. So I'm pulling up 3 Wilks, and I'll be putting up a little bit more as well. I've been trying to push through Dmitri. It hasn't been working. I've been trying to capitalize on taking Anna. It hasn't been working. So time to change the paradigm. So these Wilks are going to come out. They're going to be supported by BMP, also calling in more infantry, and I think pretty soon as well an even heavier tank. Tornado 1DS is hunting for anything that might be in these woods, trying to lighten my defenses there. But I didn't have anything in that position anyway, just Yekuri and Raskazin Korima. I do that because, well, I've seen this position get bombed so many times that whatever's in there just tends to die. That's why I like to set up defenses in other places, even if it is less effective, and it certainly is much less effective to not use this launching pad, I guess, to its fullest. The problem with moving up further to this way is that you can get spotted and killed by ATGM infantry in the town, so you're within range for that, and that, as demonstrated, can be absurdly powerful. What I probably should have done way earlier than this is those infantry I sent toward Anna at the beginning probably should have gone right down the pipe. If I'd been able to secure that central town, this would be a very, very different game. And I reckon we could have done it too, because the Salamandra and the Sokol were able to do pretty good work. Tanks opening up, these are the Leopard 2A4s, but BMP just barely makes it into the trees and hidden before they can get there. Wilkes now moving up a little bit as well, and here comes T-72 M1 Mod. 165-point tank and the pride of the Baltic repertoire, as it were. We'll have to see if they can get anything done. And now my BMP finally does spot the Frundsbacher and kill him. So seeing that, I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, that explains a lot. That explains why my Dana got spotted, explains why we had that really accurate fire coming in for quite a while. But, you know, it's not enough to make me feel secure because, well, they probably got dropped off by something. There's probably more back there. If it were me, I would send them in pairs, then split them up. So that's kind of what I was expecting. Fuchs Milan, now this really annoyed me. So my Pion takes a shot at 55% chance, takes another shot, and misses the second shot. Fuchs Milan comes in, has already gotten 1 hit, and let's see if he can go for 2. No, but it is certainly not working out very well. In the meantime, however, my Wilks and Mods have come in. I have a Syria 3D coming in as well, trying to take out those leopards, but unfortunately, even though we hit, with only 1, we didn't kill, and the ATGM plane goes down, so that's very much not in my favor. 130 points gone there. We do get a kill on some of the leopards, and my MiG comes back in, making himself useful, but dying to the Block 15 OCU. In the meantime, however, my tanks are pushing forward, Salamandra supporting as well, just trying to clear these woods, trying to push into Feder if at all possible. Now, just to give a glimpse here of what's on the other side, this was a very fragile forward position at this point, and if I could break through it, well, there's probably a lot that I could have gotten done. However, the plane support from my opponent is persistent. Helicopters are going to be coming in, and even with a couple of Itos, we aren't able to even land a single hit on that plane. The T-72M1 mod was killed by ATGMs approaching that, but Salamandra here also probably going down to the Flak Panzer Gepard, yep, just before the T-72s kill him, and that is a harsh, harsh price to pay. So now my T-72s are operating blind, never a good thing. Ito also operating blind, and I'm losing recon helicopters. I basically don't have any Salamanders left, so I'm having to do it, well, this is my last one, I think. I'm having to do it with BMP-1KTs on the ground, which is a risky proposition. We take a look at what my opponent's response to this is. There are Leopard 2A4s coming in, there's an H-64 escort over on the side, more planes cycling through, and I was, again, a little too hesitant to push forward. I could have killed the Hawk Hios, probably could have found and killed the Huzhou Ren as well, that would have gotten rid of the spotting here. Instead, however, my BMP is decently well targeted and killed in Boris. Now, I didn't show it here, but what happened is the helicopter carrying the Fernsbacher from earlier went by, just did a drive-by, found it, and then there came the artillery. So I have to move my other BMP Copa back to resecure Boris in order to let me bring anything else in, and, well, that's it's really kind of sucky, and it also makes you want to play defensively because, you know, it's hard to think of pushing down the field when I don't have control of my own back line. Unfortunately, I wait a little bit too long, and that is going to cost me, as we have more planes coming in, we have more helicopters coming in, not that I could see them at the time, and my Sokol is using his Iglas on a plane that he really shouldn't be trying to kill. I mean, of course, we do get 2 hits on it, but the thing is, those Sokols only have 4 HE-powered missiles, so something like a plane with 10 health is going to require 3 hits to kill. And this is going to burn through all my ammunition in the process. 1, 2, 3, only 1 single missile left, and here comes a helicopter hunter with stingers. Very much not what I would like to see. Salamander does get a kill on the Hawk Hios, which was good, and I have 2 Wilks moving forward, but ATGMs from that town are going to be a problem, and I'm going to have to retreat them. Sokol moving up, trying to get the bow, 105, and swing and a miss, taken down by the Stinger missiles. Leopard 2A4s coming in to support, and my 2 Wilks are not going to be enough to handle that. Not when they are, I think, well, only one of them was damaged at this point, but operating in your enemy's backfield is never a good way to be. Also, that bow moves up, and I'm a little too late with the Salamandra. I was trying to get kills on the Leopard, and I'm not quite able to escape. There's 1 shot, and 2, down goes the Salamandra, that guy getting about 130 points worth of kills. I have just been able to replace the other BMP Copa, and we have 10 minutes left in this match, with me feeling a little bit less than comfortable yet again. So 287 points to 40, I do have the lead, and that is certainly a valuable thing. But, well, now that I've recapped center, there's the hunting for common positions with artillery once more. I really should have answered better, but I've lost both my Danas because of that freaking Fernsbacher. So, I mean, sometimes just, you can't win for losing. So, another scout helicopter coming in, and I've now decided that I should probably get more Erkorzjegeri, try and push them down on the west end of Feder. I thought it was maybe lightly guarded. I thought that's maybe why there's that bow coming over and trying to defend there, or at least trying to spot for probable air support. In the meantime, Block 15 does see and kill my air defense, and artillery is coming in, bothering my BMP 1K Copa in Boris. So at this point, I'm not being pushed yet, but I certainly am being pressured. Salamander moves forward, but here comes another helicopter hunter, and I've had enough of this shit. So I move the Salamander back, hoping to get a cheeky kill here. Wilkes opening up with their secondaries, and I think 1 missile as well. No, actually brought 2 from the Iroquois. Weren't quite necessary, but now the Leopards are moving up. There's 1 of the Wilkes dead, and they're retreating. Smart move, honestly, and a bombing run coming in, looking for those Iroquois, not quite able to kill them, and because of that we do take down another bow. But here comes a tornado, and let's see. 75 points gone in an instant. Now, we did get 100 points worth of kills, but that wasn't the sort of value that I needed out of them at this point in the match. Super Puma's moving up. I mean, I'm just trying to use those tiny little primary weapons to kill the bow, and we do get a little bit of good damage here. I think maybe we are even able to take it down. Really, I don't quite remember. I was trying to do a lot at this point in a little bit of time, and yeah, actually the Super Pumas do take him down. So, you know what? That was satisfying, if not terribly effective. Artillery coming in and trying to bother my other Copa, and this is something where I don't think I moved him because he's been switching between groups of trees. If he doesn't manage to kill my Copa, but he does hit this target, well, maybe he won't quite hit it again. It didn't even blip control, so he didn't have to move, and that certainly is in my favor. KT is bringing in more Iroquois Siegfried. I'm trying to replace the group that got bombs, trying to push down this way on Feder, maybe hunt for CV if I can, and this whole static side has just been ignored because, well, at the very least, it is holding, technically speaking. So I should have seen this, I didn't during the game, and it comes back to bite me, but there's a Lux in that little hedgerow there. Block 15 coming in, killing another Wilk, and the ATGM planes have just been merciless in this. I've lost something like 350 or so points to them over and over and over again, and this is just because, well, my anti-air is terribly insufficient. 7 minutes left, and my opponent is now getting a little bit antsy here. He has 287 points to make up for, well, 240 or so points to make up for in not a lot of time. Salamander opening up as well as the Wilk on the Leopards, but optical failure denies me from shooting with the Wilks, and he is going to, I think, that's goofy. He returns to cover because he doesn't have anything left in the tank. Syria coming in, trying to kill one of those Leopards, and we do take one of them down. We don't quite get the other, and my Iroquois get bombed again. Only 6 of them left, moving up forward into the woods here. Fortunately, the Syria does get out this time, so he will be in the back pocket, but now AH-64 escorts headed down, and lots of IFVs and infantry pushing through my center. This is certainly not what you want when your defensive line looks kind of like this and basically doesn't exist. The AH-64s are going to be able to kill my KTs, opening fire on them, but, well, these guys have phenomenal Hydra rocket pods, really efficient at getting kills quickly because of the sheer number that fire in any given volley. And this is just a mess. This is just, I mean, look at that. All of his recoilless rifles, ATGMs coming in from the Martyrs, just in full volume, so, you know, 3 or 4 of them missed out of 5 there, but only one of them needed to hit. And the T-55 isn't going to be enough to answer this, not even with support from Mi-24s, and the Sergeys are just, I mean, I was trying to use them as targets at that point, because look at that field of fire, so many ATGMs, it's just crazy. Artillery still coming in and bothering my Copa is giving Grim Reaper now a +1, he's pushing 50 points, and I'm not sure if or how I could possibly stop this. My Salamander's out of Conqueror's missiles, not that it carried enough to begin with, and those H-64 escorts are coming forward. I'm calling out helicopters in hindsight, not a good choice. It's not a sustainable way of re-establishing a front. I was hoping just to get a little bit of discouragement here, but it's just not enough. ATGMs coming in, getting a couple kills, springing loose Deckensgruppe and other things like that, but Martyrs have relatively thick skin. My Mi-24W is not the right answer here to those escorts. I should have brought in another, well, something with AA. I should have probably put an Ito back in this line here, expecting to have planes and helicopters coming forward. Mi-24W fighting a valiant retreat here, but another F-104G coming in, getting at least 1 hit. That's stunned, and now the helicopter hunter with Stingers coming in as well, the Bo 105P BSH. Escorts now find my BMP-1K Copa. And now, formally, I have lost center, and Grim Reaper is getting a well-deserved +1 in this game. Not enough time to make up for it with just a +1, however, and that is going to be a problem, but, well, my hold on Boris is tenuous as well. There's a PH2 Tiger over here, I mean, goodness gracious. Syria coming in, getting a couple kills on things in the center there, and we have gotten a couple of those escorts dead as well with some Sergei mods. Very cheap, decently effective units. I think they will be opening fire here. Nope, not able to kill the Avia escort. I wanted to see if this was effective. I have an Avia 28 coming in, and no, I completely missed the bus on that one. I thought there was a lot of stuff here. Turns out it was just a single martyr. The bomb even, yeah, bomb drops, doesn't even kill the martyr. Very disappointing. And there's a whole mass of infantry just headed my way, in addition to an AH-64 escort, and there was a Tiger somewhere back there. Although I think he's gone away for right now. Speeding things up here a little bit, Syria coming in, gets the kill on the Martyr, so now at least we've released the pressure directly on this side of Boris, trying to bring in a T-55 to tighten things up and just sending whatever I have toward Elena to distract. So I don't expect this to work, I expect these guys to die, but I expect them to die pulling my opponent's attention, if only for a moment. So the Tuardi is moving up, has already taken 1 hit, and I mean, at this point I'm going to lose. It's just a matter of when. So actually pick this guy up and move him back manually around the side, do a little bit of a bait and switch with T55. I'm trying to bring that main gun online, see if I can hit the Martyr hard enough to pop that can, and we in fact do. Down goes one of those Martyrs. I mean, marginal victory is still something, but there's a Leopard 2A4 right behind him. My T55 is not able to do that. Close range, though, we do actually take out almost all of it. Syria comes in, finishes the job, which means the T55 is still online, and I have eyes on Martyr 2s and Panzergren headed in to try to finish the job. Block 15 comes in and kills my Wilk, well, not Wilk, my Twardy there in the back, and I really just had no defense for that this entire game, having lost both of my air superiority fighters relatively quickly. I did bring in another Wilk here, trying to support the T55, slowing down these Martyrs if I can, the Panzergren if I can, moving the Gaz Copa back around here as well, trying to maintain +1 instead of +2. There's only a minute left, and I mean, hey, well, if I can survive, if I can just hold some ground, it doesn't even have to be Boris, but if I can just hold something for another minute and 20 seconds, I'll be alright. I think this is, well, definitely summed up by I no longer have control over this game. T-72M2 taking fire from an AH-64 escort who does get a kill finally on my CV and Boris, and Anna now is all I've got. I can't even call in more units. Fortunately, the Ito is a big and scary helicopter killer, and so the AH-64 is probably going to be paying the price. Let's see, missile away, and nope, he gets out. That explosion actually doesn't really mean anything. The AH-64 was no longer in that position. And now we have all-out offense on Anna. I'm regretting the waste of that Wilk earlier, the waste of a couple units there in a useless distraction action. Well, distracting action. +2, 30 seconds left on the clock. Wilk and an Ito basically being useless over here, and we have now an F4 FKWS coming in. Helicopters coming in, they're hunting for a command vehicle, trying to find it in the next 18 seconds. If they can, they win. If they can't, then they are toast. And I think at this point I actually, turned off all the guns on my command infantry. I don't want them giving themselves away. H-64 escort coming in, smashing my BTRs, burning right through my Yakuri. Tornadoes coming in, trying to bomb anything they can, looking for that lucky CV kill, but not quick enough, and there is the game. So, thank you all for hanging around. Mind this over here on the right. My kills and losses were just completely pathetic at this, and Grim Reaper very well deserved to win that game. If it had been 30 seconds longer, he would have. So hats off to you, and thank you all for hanging around. We'll see you again real soon.